Hey Moto Warriors, I am about to take a Ghost Rider trip into town and see what things look like now that there's a stay-at-home type thing and businesses are closed. So if you want to, come along for the ride. I'd love to have your company. Okay, Moto Warriors, we're in town right now. This is Veridicus Viking, or VV King, if you can't say Veridicus, and or David if you just want to be friendly. But I love the flowers on these trees like this. They're so pretty. It's March 25th. I love this time of year. Flowers and stuff coming out, and man, I love it. It's so pretty. But anyway, on my way into town, I only saw like 1 or 2 cars and a tractor. That's what it used to be like. Not too many years ago, that's about all I'd see coming into town. And this should be rush hour. Usually, now that with all this traffic that's grown in the last 5 years, this place has just exploded with people. And the rush hour traffic, normally it would be bumper to bumper and just horrible. This is about what it used to be like when it was busy like 5 years ago. But with all the growth that's been going on, and man, I'll have to do a video and show you what this road is like when people aren't sitting at home because they can't go to work or whatever. But anyway, I'm going to go up here and show you this place called the Avenue. And they built it, oh, I don't know, maybe like 7 years ago, something like that. Ooh, man, they just built this road not too long ago and they're already chewing it up, man. But yeah, when it's rush hour now, the traffic here, it'd be like both lanes, bumper to bumper, all the way up through every one of the, from the light here all the way up over the other side of the interstate and beyond. It's just horrible lately. But all these businesses are closed, and the ones that aren't closed only are open for drive-through. Now, I've heard that the bars are all closed. I don't think they have drive-through at the bar. But I don't know, I don't drink anymore. Used to, way too much. But I haven't drank in like, man, what, 35 years, something like that. Now the amount of traffic I'm driving in was like 5-6 years ago was rush hour. But the way it's been lately, this is actually a breeze. This town, I live out in the county, but this town has been several times rated as the fastest growing city in the United States of America, and I think it still is the fastest growing city in the state of Tennessee. This road here, it used to be just those far 2 right lanes, that was it. They didn't even have a turn lane because there wasn't enough traffic for it. And people would turn from that second, lane that goes straight. Then they started getting busier. They built this first turn lane, and then it got even busier. They built the third, this turn lane, and there's days where this ain't even enough because both of these turn lanes are packed up all the way over to the interstate on the other side of the interstate bridge that we just went over. And as a result of all these people moving in, the buildings are going up crazy. Like everywhere you go, there's areas that used to be really great scenic rides and whatever, and now they're apartments and houses, and they're just exploding like crazy. And with these people coming so fast, the city hasn't been, wasn't prepared for it. All of the infrastructure wasn't in place to like basically double in size in like 5, 6, 7 years. It's just crazy. good rabbit hunting areas and dirt bike riding areas. They're all houses and apartment complexes now. And the house that I live in out in the county, when we bought the house, it stayed the same price and same property taxes, the same value, everything for years. And then 5 years ago, as this growth just started to explode, our home value has been more than doubled in that 5 years, which means that our property taxes have more than doubled. So it ends up hurting us because now we pay more than twice the taxes that we used to pay and have to deal with all the traffic. And then we, you know, it's crazy. And a lot of people that are from this area are sick of it because all it does is hurt us. And the people who are building all these apartments and houses and whatever, they're not even from Tennessee. A lot of them aren't even from America. You know, the guy who built the avenue is, but a lot of the apartments and houses and stuff, they're not even from here. I've met people that are from India that were buying up as much big, you know, tracts of land as they could in outlying areas for as little as they possibly could squeeze out of someone, and then putting up, you know, $750,000 or $1 million homes and just making you know, $100 million off the land that they paid, you know, $1 million for. It's kind of sad. And there's an apartment complex, if I might just, you know, go up there and show you that. But there's an apartment complex up here that when they first started putting it up, we thought it was an insane asylum, because we'd never seen anything like that other than movies, like, you know, for something like an insane asylum for like that Batman movie where they have that, I forget what they call that, but that's what it looked like. And when we found out they were apartments, we started, you know, cracking up, because clearly it was a British design. It wasn't something that an American would design. And then eventually one day I met somebody that lives there, and they said that they call those apartment complex area Harry Potterville. That's what they call it. And they do know that the people who built it are from the UK. You can see up ahead, see those smokestacks and the little fence. I don't know if it'll show up on camera here. Maybe I'll run you up into there first and show you. But definitely the way it looks, it says England all over it. It's not an American type building, at least for Murfreesboro, Tennessee. And everything you see here, that apartment building went up before most of these strip mall things here, and that's only been up there like maybe 4 years, something like that. Some of these restaurants, if you can see along in here and back behind me and over to my left, that's all stuff that's only been here for like a year. It's just sprouting up like crazy. The road that I'm going over here is called Medical Center. It goes down to the hospital if you go to the right. But this used to be basically like a little 2-lane road out in the county, like out on the edge of town. And now it's really built up. I'll take you up to the Insane Asylum apartments, or Harry Potterville. And the person that I met that's from these Insane Asylum apartments, he said that he was the only one that he knew of, and he knows a lot of the people that lives here, at least knows where they're from and that kind of thing. And he said that the majority of people that live here aren't even from Tennessee, but he was born and raised here in Murfreesboro. But again, you can see these cobblestone, you know, drive here or whatever. It just seems kind of silly. I mean, this is not something we would do, but can you imagine how expensive and how time consuming it would be to go through and lay down a bunch of little bricks like that? I mean, it just seems crazy. But hey, then again, it's appropriate. They're the Insane Asylum apartments. But yeah, this is not my cup of tea. I mean, I know that there's a lot of people that love to live in places like this, little, you know, apartments or townhomes or whatever, and you know, they like that kind of thing. But for me, no thanks, man. I want to live in a house out of town and have a garden, have chickens and ducks like we do now, so that when these morons all take all the food off the shelf because they're freaking out and panicking like crazy, that I can still have food to eat because I have my own garden and my own chickens and ducks and their eggs. I'm just doing a quick little loop around here so y'all can get an idea of what's here. But I don't know how well this will turn out on the camera. Anyway, this area keeps going, but I'm sure y'all get an idea of what it's like. So I'm just gonna get out of here, head over to the avenue. Just a few days ago, I only saw a few cars out and about, and I think what it was is because so many more businesses started to close because the infection rate has been going up like crazy every day. Just like, what was it, like a week and a half ago or a week ago or whatever, we had 8 cases. And now, as of March 25th, it's 777 confirmed cases. But when they first started building, this is called the Avenue, by the way, that we're going into now. And usually this time of day, this would be packed. All these stores are closed. Pretty much, I think every one of them. I don't know. I'll find out in a minute here. But this is normally, every spot is full. It's really hard to find a spot in the Avenue. You know, they built this thing and didn't think about parking, apparently. But yeah, when they built this thing, they started building this after they widened the road. Like I said, the road was just a normal 2-lane, you know, basically a county road, and then they started to widen it, and everybody in Murfreesboro is like, what is going on? Why are they doing this? And then people thought, well, I think it has something to do with going up to the back way to the hospital and whatever. Nobody was for sure. And next thing you know, all of a sudden there's this construction going on here, and boom, up goes the Avenue. And so it makes me wonder how much money we had to pay to widen the road so that this guy who owns this avenue could get, you know, more money in his pocket and make us pay for the damn road that they knew they were going to need because of the traffic the mall would bring, you know, the strip mall. And no, to my friends in the Philippines, a strip mall does not mean that you go there and take off all your clothes and dance around a pole. I know one of my dear subscribers in the Philippines thought that strip mall sounded funny and thought it was a joke, and didn't realize that that's actual a thing in the United States. So this is what a strip mall is, for my friends in the Philippines who don't know that. A lot of these shops and stuff that's in here, they're just small shops. A lot of these restaurants like that, Kirk's or whatever that is, the state has ordered all restaurants and bars and everything to be closed, but you can still provide the service for takeout. So like somebody can do your drive-through or come in and order it. Why are you stopping in the middle of the road, you idiot? Man, I tell you, some of these people moving here just ain't too bright. But yep, you can see all the stuff on that side's closed. That used to be a really good chocolate shop. I think it was Rocky Mountain Candy or something that made really good fudge, but they apparently weren't making enough money because the rent here is so extremely high that they went out of there like a year or two after they opened the mall. Pink. Well, that would make sense if it's painted pink, huh? But you can tell by looking at the stores who all these shops are made for. You know, it's like women's clothes, women's clothes, women's clothes, women's clothes, women's clothes, women's clothes. A man's name selling women's clothes. It's like, you know, This kind of reminds me of Kansas City. If you've ever been to Kansas City, I love it that around the little avenue here they have little bronze sculptures like that. I don't know how good that's going to pick up on the camera, but it's pretty cool. I like that kind of stuff. If you've never been to Kansas City and you get a chance to go, you should check out all the bronze statues and the water fountains and stuff. It's pretty cool. Wouldn't want to live there. I like living here in Tennessee, but yeah. And children's store. It's closed, but there's a car there. I wonder if somebody's over there too. Everything's closed, but there's a couple cars. Makes me wonder if their cars wouldn't start, or if they rode home with someone else, or if they own the business and they're in there, you know, like doing stuff for when they can open up. But all this stuff, man, it's all, and parks, you know, this Belk, they have some men's stuff in there, but 90% or more is all women's stuff. So you can really tell on shopping who spends the money. And Massage Envy. Yeah. A lot of these places, man, that, like I said, you come here when there's not the virus going around, and it is so full there's rarely a place to park. They just did not make enough parking for how busy this place can sometimes get. But anyway, Moto Warriors, that's the avenue for you. It's a nice mall. I don't know how much you can see with the sun, but it has like a nice little walkway through here, and it's nice. It is very expensive though, so sad to say, and most of the people that are from here can't afford to even shop here, because that's what happens when people come from states where they have a lot of money and stuff. Things sure have changed a lot here in this part of Tennessee. I mean, Nashville started to get really big too, and then a lot of the people that were born and raised in Nashville wanted to come down to Murfreesboro because they were sick of all the growth up in Nashville and all the traffic and the idiots that come with that traffic, and so they moved down here. But that's only a few people. We get most of them coming here from like California and New York, and you know, New York City, and like cities like Boston and Chicago and whatever, and they're coming down here to escape the high property values and the high property taxes and the crime rate. But the people that they voted into power are the ones who did that to them. So it seems kind of silly that you would come down here to get away from that and then want to vote for the same kind of liberal moron that wrecked your city. I just don't get that one. You know what I mean? It's like, if you were tired of smelling skunks because there's a bunch of skunks where you live, why would you want to move somewhere and take a pregnant skunk with you? That's just stupid. And that's kind of what they're doing. And they think the living down here is cheaper. Well, for them it might be, because from, you know, where they came from, they made a lot more money because of unions and whatever. But Tennessee's a right to work state, and what that means is that you can't force a union and stuff like that into a business and whatever, and they can shut you down if they think that you're trying to start a union. They can fire you, you know, things like that. But so people here just generally don't make it as much money, and that was okay for a long time because we could afford to make house payments and buy a house and whatever. But with all these people that are coming down here, it's really raising the prices of everything, and very few people that are born and raised in Murfreesboro, Tennessee, can't even shop at that avenue because everything is so ridiculously expensive. Now, if you're from Los Angeles or something like that, and you're used to spending $80 for a pair of underwear, you might think it's cheap. But all this stuff just went up like within a year. pretty much everything you've been seeing is all just a few years old. The avenue's been there, like I said, about 4 or something. I forget exactly. And they're just building those. They're not even done yet. You can see more apartments going up over there. Since my youngest son was born, and he's 24, Murfreesboro has grown by 400%, and that's according to the estimate for the last statistic. But that doesn't include the last 5 years where it's just exploded. I mean, before that it was growing reasonably quick and whatever, but the last 5 years it just exploded every day. Well, obviously not that the virus thing is going on, but I'll see people in U-Hauls moving down here, or towing a U-Haul, and all coming off the interstate, and they're all just moving here, and it's crazy, man. And it's wrecked the city. To me, this is like a ghost ride, because there's usually it's bumper to bumper, all lanes are full, going either direction as far as you can see, and even when it's not rush hour time, it's usually still bad. Normally, the amount of traffic you're seeing now, this would be rush hour 10 years, 5-10 years ago. And now, this is nothing.
And all the apartments up here on the left, those are like a year old. I'm not even sure if all of them are actually completed back inside there, because it too goes back in a bit. But those are like a year old. The ones on the right here, same thing. Those are even newer.
I showed y'all the avenue, and then at some point I turned off the camera and rode out in the county on the other side of the county, away from the side of the county where I live, and just enjoyed the ride and looked at all the beautiful flowers coming up on the trees and stuff. Had a nice ride. But anyway, Moto Warriors, I forgot to end the first part, so now that it's getting dark and I'm heading back home, I just want to remind you to live your life with the heart of a Viking warrior. Don't let fear stand in your way, and that includes when we're talking about the coronavirus and all the junk that's been going on around the world. Don't let that fear paralyze you. A lot of people are not working, me included. So, but I don't let that stand in my way. I don't let that make me afraid. If I was still able to work, I would be going to work. But take care of yourself. Make sure you keep your immune system up there. Take vitamin C or eat some fruits, like oranges and that kind of thing. I really do appreciate y'all. Chances are a lot of you aren't working now either, so I'd appreciate it if you'd watch my videos. And if you're a new subscriber, feel free to go back and look at some of my older videos. And, hopefully I will continue to get better. Not that that's actually started yet, but at some time in the future, maybe my videos will get better. Well, Moto Warriors, thanks for watching. I really do appreciate you.